Stockholm is a beautiful city, and the best way to enjoy it is by foot. To prove it, I'm gonna walk all across Stockholm in one day and show you the best things to see and do. My feet are gonna hate me after today. Let's start in the eastern part of Stockholm, at Gärdet, a huge park where you can see rabbits and deer and beavers. This is also where the Lollapalooza festival is held every year. I used to work next to Gärdet, and I was very surprised one summer when I looked out the window and saw elephants grazing here in Sweden. There was a circus in town. That tower is Kaknästornet, a radio and TV tower here at Gärdet. Up until 2018 you could go up the tower and visit a restaurant there. But it's been permanently closed since then. Sorry. Next to Gärdet you find a large number of museums. The Police Museum, for example, or the Maritime Heritage Museum. And a crappy one as well, the National Sports Museum. But you also find one of my favorite museums in Stockholm, the Museum of Technology. I highly recommend that you visit this place. It's fun for the whole family, young and old nerds alike. Anyway, let's move on from the Museum of Technology to Djurgården. A bridge next to the Museum of Technology takes us to the island of Royal Djurgården. The island of Djurgården has belonged to the royal family since 1286, and there's a lot to see here. Rosendal Castle turns 200 years old this year. It used to be a summer castle for the king and his family, but these days it's a museum. And next to Rosendal Castle you find a very cozy Rosendal Gardens, ripe with flowers and greenery, and a bar as well. It's 11 AM right now, so I think it's time for a beer in the sun. They say that it's important to drink a lot during hot summer days after all. Cheers. Oh, and look at this, a cinnamon bun wanted to come along as well. This is basically the quintessential Swedish summer. There's a lot of nature around Djurgården, and it's a very pleasant place to get away from city life. There are several art galleries you can explore, and some really good restaurants as well. You find some of the most expensive and most desirable houses in Stockholm here, and this is not a place for mere mortals. If you're walking around here wondering what these houses cost, don't bother checking. You won't find them on any normal house listings. Have you heard of Hasselback potatoes? They were invented here at restaurant Hasselbacken. Next to Hasselbacken is Skansen, the world's oldest open-air museum and zoo that opened in 1891. You can learn all about Swedish history and Nordic animals here. If you want something more exciting, you can visit Gröna Lund, an awesome boardwalk amusement park. Unfortunately, there was a recent accident here with a jetline roller coaster, and one person died here this summer. I think it's safe now though. I'm definitely gonna visit again either way. If that sounds a bit too exciting, you can also visit one of the many museums on Djurgården. The ABBA Museum, for example, or the Viking Museum. Or maybe Liljevalchs art gallery, with the second ugliest building in Stockholm. Or what about the Liquor Museum or the Nordic Museum? And let's not forget about the Vasa Museum, dedicated to one of Sweden's biggest blunders ever. The mighty warship Vasa sank during her maiden voyage in 1628. She was salvaged and put on display here for everyone to point and laugh at this very embarrassing part of Swedish history. Feeding geese? These people are braver than I am. From Djurgården, we're now gonna walk towards the city center along Strandvägen. If you're into architecture from the beginning of the 1900s, then this is a place you wanna visit. Strandvägen is a lovely boulevard in the Östermalm district of Stockholm, with beautiful houses on one side and restaurants by the water on the other. Östermalm in that direction is a pretty posh area, but it's much less lively than other parts of Stockholm. There are some nice spots there, like Östermalmshallen, and a few museums as well. But I think that the best part of Östermalm to enjoy on a summer day is this esplanade, Strandvägen. If you want to go to the Stockholm archipelago, this is one of the spots you can take a boat from, Strömkajen. And this is a posh store called Skansen, where I saw Queen Sylvia having coffee once, surrounded by bodyguards. Let's follow the road into this little peninsula. We're getting into some proper central and touristy areas now. This peninsula is called Kungsholmen, and there's a lot of theaters and entertainment here. And a pretty good brunch spot that has live jazz music. You also find another key here, where you can take boats to the archipelago, right next to Grand Hotel. Grand Hotel is expensive and not really worth the cost, but if you want to impress a girl, take her for afternoon tea at the Carrier bar that's part of the hotel. Anyway, let's move on to the most touristy area of Stockholm. Speaking of tourists, I often post tourist tips about Sweden and other places. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And if you want to discuss upcoming ideas for videos or just hang out, then you can join the 3-star Vagabond Facebook group. Hello Royal Palace, hello Medieval Museum, and hello Parliament. And most importantly, hello Stockholm Old Town. I've already shown a lot of Old Town in other videos and talked about it as well, but we have to walk through here to get to the island of Södermalm. And it's a very nice place to walk through. In the Middle Ages, this was the actual town of Stockholm, and it's full of history. But it's also a living, breathing part of the city. People live here, and locals come here to party and visit restaurants, and we love to complain about all the tourists. Don't miss the science fiction bookstore if you come here. And don't miss Stortorget, where the Stockholm bloodbath took place. And also, check out the narrowest alley in Old Town, Mårten Trotzig's Gränd. Before I move on, I decided to have a bit of lunch. What type of Swedish culinary specialty do you think I had? Moose burger? Meatballs? Nope. I had Burger King. Sorry for that. At the end of Old Town, you're met with a never-ending construction site called Slussen and the Golden Bridge. If you need to ask why the bridge is called the Golden Bridge, I have some lovely beach property in Jämtland to sell to you. We are now on the island and the district of Södermalm, famous for all its hipsters. This is where you find most of the pubs and the bars in Stockholm, as well as a lot of quirky stores and restaurants. It used to be a working class area, but those days are long since gone now. To the east of Slussen, you can find the famous photography museum Fotografiska, as well as the Viking Line ferry terminal. That's one of the infamous white trash cruises of the Baltic Sea. If we continue south instead, we eventually get to Medborgarplatsen, also known as Medis. From here, you're in walking distance of many seedy bars and lots of entertainment. The Geek Bar Nerds is close by, as are some of the crappiest pubs in Stockholm. If you continue further south, you'll get to Skansen and eventually the Globe Arena, called Avicii Arena these days. Or as I like to call it, the Big Bloody Pimple. But that's not where I'm going right now. Let's head to the west instead.
Your goodbye, is that that cry. How can I get along without you? You took the part that once was my heart. Why not take all of it?
Or rather a bit to the northwest, because I want to show you the view from Monteliusvägen, a famous viewpoint. I'm at more than 18,000 steps so far, and it's not too bad, not yet at least, but we have a lot more to go. What's this? A gated community in Sweden? It actually is locked. As soon as you get away from the touristy streets at Södermalm, it's really quiet. Monteliusvägen is a very touristy spot, but it is very nice as well. Stockholm is looking pretty today. All for you. This is a great viewpoint, but if you fancy something a little bit higher up, then you can continue to the west to Skinnerviksberget. This is a favorite spot for picnics and romantic dates in the evening, or for getting drunk in the sun, or a combination of all of the above. The name means the Skinnervik mountain, but it's not really much of a mountain. Stockholm is flat as a pancake. Many people are looking adoringly at the phallic chimney in the background, or possibly at the view. I'm not really sure which one. My feet are absolutely killing me right now, and I'm starting to question my life choices, but unfortunately we still have a bit to go. So let's continue through the island of Södermalm until we what was that? So let's continue through the island of Södermalm until we get to the area called Hornstull. Hornstull used to be known as Knivsöder, the knifing area of Södermalm. In older days, this is where you'd get stabbed, but these days it's been gentrified, just like the rest of Söder. Västerbron is a massive bridge that connects the island of Södermalm with the island of Kungsholmen. It was completed in 1935, and a JAS 39 Gripen fighter jet almost crashed on this bridge during the Water Festival in Stockholm, 1993. The plane crashed on the island of Långholmen instead, just below the bridge, just below us right now actually. And there's still a commemorative plaque in its memory at the crash site. I thought I heard something from the bridge. What is this, a spontaneous summer rave party? I have no idea what's going on, but I like it. Anyway, enough of that little detour. Back to the bridge. This bridge is pretty long and pretty high. It's probably the first time I walk across it instead of taking an electric scooter, so it's a perfect time to enjoy the view. A short but intense love story. Still better than Titanic. Rålambshovsparken, also called Rålis, is a much beloved park in Stockholm. It has lush and green areas, perfect for picnics and midsummer celebrations. And in summers, there's sometimes an outdoor cinema here. There's also a skate park and food trucks and a beach volleyball court, and you can buy beer at the Bull Bar. It's also really close to where I live, so I might be a little bit biased because of that, but I really like this park. It's a great place to relax and feed some ducks, or just enjoy the view. If I had gone a bit in that direction, I'd be home right now. But nope, there's no rest for my sore feet. Instead, we're gonna head back towards the city center. There's an absolutely gorgeous boardwalk here called Norr Mälarstrand. Do you still call it a boardwalk even if it's a concrete walkway? I hope so, cause I'm gonna call it a boardwalk anyway. And this, boys and girls, is how you get very strange dinosaur hybrids. The houses on the left are from the 1930s, and they were built when Norr Mälarstrand was restructured into a parade street. You can also see lots of restaurants by the water. This is a prime spot for getting drunk in the sun with your friends. If you have any friends, that is. It's perfectly fine to do it on your own as well. You have my permission. Trust me, I drink by myself often enough, so I should know. That's a pretty bad thing to say, isn't it? I should remove that. Something else I love about this boardwalk are the boats lining the water. Most of these boats have plaques with information, so you can learn all about the history of these magnificent vessels. And here's info about Charamas, but there's no boat. Oh well. At the end of Norr Mälarstrand, we finally get to Stockholm City Hall. The City Hall was built in 1923, so it turns 100 years old this year. There are several towers and spires at City Hall, and at the top of the main tower you can see the 3 crowns, the symbol of Sweden. Stockholm City Hall is where you find the Stockholm City Council, as well as a pretty magnificent museum. But most importantly, the Nobel Banquet takes place here every year in the Blue Hall. Someday I hope that I can attend that banquet, but alas, I'm just a lowly 3-star vagabond. They're probably reserving those seats for 5-star vagabonds instead. And that's it. I finally did it. I walked across Stockholm to see the most interesting sights, or at least many of them. So what's the final tally? It's actually 32,200 steps, which is less than a German tourist I ran into. He walked 33,000 steps yesterday. My phone said a little bit more than 32,200 steps, but yeah, I've been walking a bit in the morning as well. Was it worth it? No, absolutely not. Don't do this. Take the subway instead. No, seriously, this is actually very doable, and it was really nice, so I highly recommend that you try it yourself. But do it on a good day. You don't want a rainy day for something like this. I hope you found it interesting. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day. And while I walk all the way home on my sore feet, you can have a look at this video as well.